Alright YouTube, this is Ian here, and I'm going to show you how to create a quick printer pool. First, what you're going to want to do, and I am in Windows Server 2008 right now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open Administrative Tools, make sure that you have the Print Services role installed, and you will go to Print Management. Now first what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to create a printer that's going to run the print pool. Now, in order to do that, we can highlight the Server 01, we're going to add a printer. We're going to add a new printer using an existing port. Okay, we're going to install a new driver. And you can leave the generic MS Color printer if you'd like. Click Next. We're going to rename this one. To rename it HPLJ 4250. Okay. Now the share name is going to be the same thing with pool after it. So HPLJ 4250 pool. We will click Next. Okay, we're gonna add a. It says there's already one on the server. That's because I've created one already. I'm just gonna name this one something different. We'll put a 7 after it. Okay. Then we will click Next, and it says that it's creating it, so it successfully installs. We'll click Finish. Now you'll want to expand the server 01 local server. You'll highlight the printers, and we will come up here to the printer that we just created. Now in order to turn this printer into a printing pool, what we're going to need to do is right click. We will go to Properties, and then over the Ports tab, we will highlight it, and we're going to, there's a box down here that says Enable Printer Pooling. We are going to check that. Now in the manual it says that it wants you to share this printer across the 10.1.1.220 IP addressing scheme. Now it's the same IP address except for it runs from 220 to 224. Now I'm going to show you how to share that across the ports. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click highlight or add port. This is going to be a standard TCP/IP port. Click new port, and it brings you to the add standard print port wizard. So you'll click next. It asks you for the printer name and the IP address. In this case, the first one's going to be 10.1.1.220. Then we will click next. It's going to detect the TCP port, and it's going to look for the machine that is connected to that port. However, it's going to take a while because they're on my server. I don't have a machine that is powered on that is connected to that port. So it'll find the port and it'll understand that that's the one you want to share across. However, it's going to throw you an error because there's no device that is powered on that's on that port. I'm going to go ahead and skip this process because it's going to take a couple minutes for it to figure out that there's not a device powered on that port. Okay, it has found out that there's not a device on the network, so it understands that that's the port you want, so you'll just go ahead and click next. It creates the pool under that port, and when you have a device that powers on and tries to print through that port, it'll send it to this printer. We will click finish, and then we'll click close. Notice how it brings up the 10.1.1.220 port that we just created. Now you're going to want to highlight this checkbox, and again we're going to add the 10.1.1.221 IP address along with 221 through 224. I'm going to go ahead and do the next one. I won't do the next four, but we will click new printer, go ahead and then we'll type in 10.1, oops, 10.1.1.221. And again, it's going to go through the same process. It'll figure out that there's not a device that's powered on connected to that port, and then it'll just install that printer pool to that port. Okay, now once you've done that, you'll click next and then finish. Go ahead and close. Okay, and then it finds the 220. It's already checks it for you. So you would just basically do this for every IP address that has a printer device connected to it that you would want to use to print. Okay, that concludes creating a printer pool. Thank you for watching.